Hi everyone. Welcome to Site 24/7 webinar session. So today we will go over the topic on all-in-one monitoring tool for DevOps and IT using Site 24/7 and see how it could solve day-to-day IT issues. I am Rex Peter, who had Site 24/7 customer support and been with Zoho Corp for more than a decade. And along with me, I have Daniel Paul, who works as a technical support engineer for Site 24/7 product. Before we get into it, let me give you an heads up on who we are and what we do. So we are called Zoho Corporation, started our business in 1996. Zoho has three major divisions. Zoho Work Online, where it offers more than 30 plus SaaS products like business applications, productive and collaboration apps like CRM, Creator, Projects, Zoho Docs, and many more. And it has a customer base of close to 13 million users across the globe. Next, we have a division called Manage Engine, which focuses on enterprise IT management software products like help desk management, network management, Active Directory management, and a lot more. It has close to 25 plus products in its portfolio with more than 90,000 enterprise company using managing products. Then the third division is WebNMS. It's a framework solution model which helps to build customized solutions. So that's pretty much about who we are and what we do. And in this webinar, we will be covering on the topic on the importance of cloud, challenges in implementing on-premise solution, find out how to stop the blame game in IT, and get to know about Site 24/7 all-in-one monitoring solution, and how to proactively monitor your websites, web applications, monitor your server performance from a global perspective, and get some in-depth stats on real user performance analytic monitoring, end-user application monitoring, and also we touch upon on the critical network components and some best practices. Now, let's take a real-time example here and how an enterprise IT goes through to implement an on-premise solution for monitoring. For example, if they choose instead of cloud. First and foremost, they need to have a dedicated IN server, right? To, with huge specs to run an on-premise solution. Now, along with the server, it needs to have a lot of dependent services running, right? Like IIS, database, and a lot more. Then once the solution is in production setup, they need to keep the solution always updated with latest features and apply some hot fixes, right? So in IT, the normal process would be is to do a test of that particular update in a local setup and then put it to production, which requires a downtime of the production setup, right? Or else some update could really crash the entire system. That's how cautious we got to be when applying such updates to the on-premise solution. And nowadays, monitoring solution plays an important role in business productivity, which needs to have high availability on the monitoring server always. So in order to do that, it again needs to have a failover and disaster recovery mechanism. So again, to set up such failover mechanism, it requires like primary, secondary server, and then database needs to be in sync. So this kind of goes on and on just to run one single monitoring solution, right? Now, for IT teams, if the focus is on just to make sure the solution is up and running, then how will we solve business critical application issues, right? That's where the cloud model comes in. I would say leave all the backend headache to the cloud vendor and focus on business critical IT alerts. And that's where actually Site 24/7 comes in. It's a powerful monitoring, all-in-one monitoring solution on cloud, which can be accessed anywhere, anytime. Now, that being said, if you look at an enterprise IT at a size of medium and large, right, they use minimum of 10 different solutions for monitoring various segments. DevOps use 5 different solutions, IT Ops team use 5 different solutions, and now when there is an application issue, the user calls the help desk and raises a ticket saying the application is slow or inaccessible. Now, who is responsible for this case and how to find out the bottleneck, right? So it's kind of a challenge. It's either DevOps or IT team. If you look at this image, there is a total disconnect between both the teams. And by having 10 different applications without any integration, how we will solve such business critical issues and find out the root cause. This is kind of a day-to-day challenge what happens in enterprise, right, IT. So in order to solve this, let me introduce you to Site 24/7, which is all-in-one monitoring solution, which helps you to stop the blame game between your DevOps and IT. And this could be one single source of truth for your entire IT monitoring needs. As you could see, it covers web infrastructure end-user experience monitoring, application performance monitoring, server monitoring, real user monitoring, public and private cloud monitoring, and network monitoring, and all in one single solution. So what we're going to do now is we're going to drill down to each module and find out what it got to offer and how it could solve your day-to-day issues, right? So I have Daniel here who will, yes, Daniel, so over to you.
Thank you, Rex. Let's start with end-user monitoring. With the presence of our monitoring servers across the globe, get an insight of your website's availability and performance from a global perspective. We have our monitoring servers in over 50+ geographical locations, which helps you get to know the availability and performance from 50 cities across the globe. Website uptime monitoring. Website availability plays a significant role in business development. When the website is not available for a user, we lose business. Nowadays, website is the face of your business, and a recent study shows that a 1 second delay in the response time, a high page load time, can result in a 7% reduction in overall conversion. With Site 24/7, you be the first one to know of issues with your websites. And you can also check the performance from across the globe. So let me take you to the product to show you how it looks. So here we have the website monitoring, the response time stats from across the globe, a comparison which gives you insight of how your website performs from one location with the other. And we also provide insight metrics such as the split up of the response time, such as the DNS connection time, which helps you identify where the lag is so that you can work on that and to enhance the end user experience. So that's about the website availability monitoring. And then if a website goes down, how to get notified? We send you a notification that the website is down, and we take the next step by providing you with a root cause analysis report, which helps you get the bottleneck of the issues. So a root cause analysis report will have information like the website's a screenshot of the web page taken at the time of error, a traceroute report, a DNS analysis, and a ping analysis. So with all these information, you can identify where the problem is, and we will also conclude on what the issue is. So here, the application is not running in the specified port. So this way, you can drill down on where the issue is, and you can minimize the downtime. And we have monitored the website for its availability and performance. We can also monitor for the content changes in your website. So this is an added advantage with Site 24/7, where you can make sure that the right content is delivered to your customers. Say if an hacker has changed your website content or included some unwanted scripts, that can be monitored using Site 24/7's web page defacement. And when website availability plays an important role, it's also important for us to monitor the performance of your website. So how fast a web page loads when a user accesses it from a real browser. So we have our web page analyzer monitoring, which gives you in-depth visibility on what is causing the poor performance. So you can identify which component is making your website to load slowly. So we provide a waterfall chart with which we download each and every element in your website along with the response time of them. So this helps you to identify the element that affect the performance of your website, and you can optimize it for better performance. So here we have the performance metrics of the web page analyzer and a waterfall chart. As you can see here, this gives you the response time of each and every element, And you can also see which element is taking more time. You can also see the specific image that's getting loaded for the response time. And we also provide content breakdown of your website, such as the total number of images in the website, what is the size of images, CSS, JavaScript. So this way you can measure your website's content, which is going to affect your website's performance directly. And if you have integrated your website with a lot of other third-party domains, such as Facebook or Google, so you can measure if those domains are causing a delay in your website. As you can see here, we have two domains, apple.com and images.apple.com, and we provide you the number of requests sent to each server and the average response time. So this way you can measure if any of the third-party services integrated to your websites cause a delay. So Site 24/7's web page analyzer monitor gets you a complete visibility on your web page performance for an end user. And here we also help you measure your customer emotions with the availability and performance. We are measuring how your customer receives the website based on the reports we provide. So AppDeck is a global score where it helps you measure your customer emotions, whether they are satisfied with your website's performance or frustrated. So we give a global perspective of your website's AppDeck score. And here the web transaction monitoring. So we are going to discuss on how to monitor a web application from an end user perspective. So here let's take a sequence like a shopping cart, where a user logs into your website, searches for a product, adds them to the cart, proceeds to the checkout process, pays the using credit card, and completes the process. So this is an application which needs to be monitored from the beginning till the end, so as to measure how an end user is going to experience this. Because this not only includes your application, it also has some third-party applications, such as your banking application, which is involved in the transaction. So it is important to measure the transaction's performance. So Site 24/7 came up with this recorder tool option, where there is no more need for you to write scripts to do transaction monitoring. With our easy-to-use recorder tool, you can record the transaction that needs to be monitored, and we will generate the script. Also, the recorder tool will capture each and every mouse over action, the elements that the user interacts with, and it gives you a complete visibility of how the end user is going to interact with the web application, and we give you the performance metrics. So here we have the performance data of our web application monitoring. So this is for the transaction. So we have multiple steps recorded here, and we provide the performance, the response time of each and every step. So you can identify navigating from one step to the other where the delay is. And we also provide a screenshot of each and every step, where you can check whether the transaction is performed in the correct flow. And this is not just the visible screenshot. We download the entire page here to give you the performance metrics. We use a real browser, and we also have a comparison chart of multiple locations for each and every step's performance. So if you identify that when a user is trying to purchase a product, and if it takes more time during the credit card payment process, so you can work with your banking application and optimize it so that you can enhance the end user experience when they access your application. So now we have discussed on how to monitor your website for its performance and availability from an end user perspective. Now let's get into some real user metrics, where we measure the performance of your website from a real user's perspective. And Flipkart, this is an example on why it is necessary to monitor your web application's performance from a real user. might lose the customers. But with the real user monitoring, the analytics we provide, you get to know how many users, what is the performance of different devices, different browsers. As you can see here, we provide data, the analysis metrics specific to devices, browsers, and we also give you front end and the back end time. What is the time taken in the browser when compared with the network? So you can work on the areas where it is required. So it also helps you allocate resource accordingly. So resource planning can be managed with the real user monitoring. For example, say if you have a lot of users using a specific browser, say let's take Chrome, but if you have your developers working more on Internet Explorer, so it's a waste of resource. So with the data we provide here, you can more focus on your application's performance specific to devices and browsers, which enhances the end user experience. So in our product, we have added the Site 24/7 application for monitoring. So this is a real user, real data, live data for our website, where we give the development summary, the front end and the back end time, as we discussed earlier. And we also provide the component split up of each and every web transaction in your website. So as you can see here, what is the network time, what is the server time. So for each web transaction, you can get this metrics and you can identify where the problem is, so that you can optimize that particular transaction to enhance the user experience. And again, when it comes to analytics, we have the data for the browsers, where you can see most number of page views are from Google Chrome, and the response time, the average response time is around 5 seconds. So this way you can allocate your resources, your developers work on these specific areas. And geographical location across the globe, what is the response time from each and every country, device-based performance. So this is how Flipkart came to a decision where users are no longer using desktop websites to make purchases, so they can move with app-only purchases. So this way you can also make business decision with the data we provide. And the most, we provide data specific to the ISPs. What is the response time using specific ISPs? So you can work out with some ISPs to check why there is a delay. So the real user monitoring from Site 24/7 gives you a complete analysis of your website's web applications performance from a real user's point of view. So now said, Flipkart has stopped desktop purchases. They have moved to app-only purchases. So do we have a solution to monitor apps? Yes, we do. We have mobile APM, where you can monitor your mobile applications, Android, iOS applications. By injecting a small piece of code in your application, you can get information on what type of operating system, the app version, the location, device type, carrier. So we get a lot of information related to the mobile applications performance, because nowadays mobile devices and applications are the most used to browse through the internet. Now we have checked and saw how we can monitor the end user's performance, real user's performance. Now we can identify where the problem is. So if we detect a delay in the website's performance, we have to know where the delay is. So it works as a troubleshooting tool, the APM Insight, which helps the developers identify the problem. So it gives you the backend performance metrics of your application. So currently we have application monitoring for Java, .NET and Ruby on Rails application, with which you get insight performance metrics such as the throughput, the traces, database operations, the time taken for the queries to be executed. So here we have a sample of the Java application monitoring, where we have the web transaction. For each and every web transaction, what is the slowest response time? And you can check for the database calls, any web service calls or database calls can be monitored. What is the response time for a query to be executed, and get the information, the background data, the traces of each and every transaction. And if there are any errors or exceptions, that can be monitored. So it acts as a developer's handy tool, which helps your developers optimize the code for better end user experience, so that they can optimize the code, which is obviously going to enhance your application's performance. This we already checked with the product, the database transactions, and the Java traces. So now we have monitored how the applications perform, so we can fix the issues with the applications. Now let's get into the infrastructure monitoring, where you have hosted your applications, the servers, the virtual infrastructure, cloud infrastructure. So Site 24/7 provides out-of-the-box monitoring for your physical, virtual, and cloud infrastructure. So when it comes to physical infrastructure, we have monitoring for Windows and Linux servers, where you can monitor critical performance metrics such as the CPU utilization, disk utilization, memory utilization of your server. And this is an agent-based monitoring, and the power of installing an agent in the server and monitoring it is you get notified instantly when there is an issue. Alerts are triggered instantly if your server crashes. And apart from monitoring critical services, the performance metrics, you can also monitor for critical services and processes running in the server, such as any specific service, and you can set threshold values for the specific service. So if this particular service goes down, or if it consumes more of the CPU, you get notified instantly. And you can also monitor the network statistics of the server. Multiple network cards, we have them listed, and we have the bandwidth utilization, input, output, traffic. And recently we have also included the resource monitoring, where you can monitor the resources that are running in the server. Any application that you are running, or the ports that are running can be monitored. And we analyze the event logs, which gives you insight of the log based on the severity types. It's going to be an analysis. So this is about the server monitoring, where you get to monitor your server's performance from the cloud. And we also have in-depth performance analysis for IIS, SQL, and MS Exchange application servers. And here, let's get into a scenario where if you have your servers in all remote branch offices across the globe with no connectivity to your central office. So how to monitor the performance of those servers? So deploying an agent in all those servers, you get the performance metrics in one dashboard, Site 24/7. So for example, for all our monitoring locations, so initially we said we have over 50 plus locations. In all our servers, we have our monitoring agent installed, and we do the monitoring. So it's not possible for us to monitor each and every server from the specific location by putting a resource, which is costlier. But with the agent-based monitoring, we get the performance metrics of our servers from our Site 24/7 dashboard. And with the server monitoring, when your server goes down, we also provide the root cause analysis for the server monitoring as well, where we give you the top 5 processes that has consumed more resource in your server for the last 5 minutes. So you can identify when, due to which reason, your server is down. So this report would be emailed to you immediately when your server crashes. And when it comes to virtual server monitoring, infrastructure monitoring, we have support for VMware. You can monitor your ESX servers, virtual machines, memory, data store, and we give a summary view of the data center cluster resource pools, the individual virtual machines performance, what is the CPU utilization, disk read-write operations. And recently we have launched our Docker monitoring, which helps to monitor the performance of Docker containers. So here we automatically discover all the new containers, monitor the CPU usage, cache memory, and we can also remotely start or stop the container using the Site 24/7 client. And for your information, Site 24/7 is an official member of the Docker partner program. And we do have a solution for cloud infrastructure monitoring as well, Amazon Web Services, where you can monitor your EC2, RDS instances and S3 buckets. So with an agentless monitoring, we use Amazon API, the CloudWatch, to get the performance metrics. And the reason why we have this monitoring here instead of having it monitored with CloudWatch itself, because we maintain the history where it's costly for you to maintain the history with Amazon CloudWatch. Site 24/7 has the history of monitors from the day it's created till it's removed from your account. So that is possible with Amazon Web Service monitoring. And now we have discussed on monitoring resources from the cloud, your websites, web applications, servers. How to monitor a resource which is behind the firewall. Say if you have a website which is accessible only within your network, we also have a solution, Site 24/7's on-premise Polar. So where you can monitor your internal network devices, websites, applications, where the on-premise Polar agent does the monitoring, collects the data, and sends them to Site 24/7. So we also have an on-premise solution for you. And now we have discussed all the monitoring features, business critical features. So we can identify if it's an issue with the end user or with the server or with the application. Apart from this, there is also another important component which affects the performance of your applications, the network. Site 24/7 introduces the network monitoring for you.
Well, the Site 24/7 network monitoring is a very powerful module within the product. So what it does is it does complete monitoring using SNMP. If you look at the product here, so what we do is when you're about to add up network devices, I'm just gonna. So here we have an option for you to add an individual device, or you can scan your entire network, okay, either through a particular IP range or through CIDR. So we automatically do a complete scan on your network and pull up all the network devices which responds to the SNMP. So, and we automatically classify them like routers, switches, and firewall. So once the devices get added, we give you in-depth information like the device level statistics, the availability, response time, packet loss, the traffic statistics, and some resource information specific to the vendor itself, like Cisco memory utilization, buffer hits, buffer misses, and more importantly, they give you some deep information for your interfaces, how much of traffic is going in and out on each interface. So you can drill down to each interface and find out the traffic statistics. And soon we will be also, giving you some traffic, net flow technology statistics too. Okay, that's actually in the pipeline for us. So that's actually what the network monitoring is all about. And you have the option of configuring thresholds at various points, okay, to get proactive notification. So to get notification, Site 24/7 offers different alert mechanisms. So if email is the only mode of alerting, so if your network is down, the email alert is not going to work where your mail server is within your network. So we have different alert mechanisms such as SMS alerts, call alerts, Twitter alerts, instant messaging alerts, push notifications, with which you can get notified instantly if there is an issue with your application. And we also have this intelligent alerting feature where you can alert the right person at the right time. You can define what type of alert a user has to receive and at what time the alert has to be sent to them. And we also provide apps for Site 24/7, iOS and Android devices, and this is the power of cloud. So there is no need for you to be within your network to access the monitoring data. You can be anywhere in the world with your mobile device, and we have the monitoring data for you in your device. So here we have a snapshot from our iOS app. We have the historical data, what is the performance for the last 6 months from your mobile device itself. And you also receive the push notifications from the app for iOS and Android. So now getting into
reports, how can we manage the reports with Site 24/7? Site 24/7 helps you publish your service status to your customers. You can be more transparent with the Site 24/7's public reporting option. So with the Site 24/7's the portal integration feature, where you can publicize your monitoring reports, the availability report and the performance report. Say for example, we have status.zoho.com. You can create a custom domain to publish the monitoring reports. As I said, it's for status.zoho.com. Zoho uses this particular domain to publish the monitoring reports, the performance report for its 13 million users. So 13 million users across the globe refer this page to measure the service's performance. And not only the availability, we also give you the performance data of your application. So you can be more transparent with your clients and customers when it comes to your website, web applications performance. So this is the historical data of each and every service performance.
So apart from all, there are a lot of things which we have actually discussed today, and yeah, there are a few users who have just raised a few questions that they want to know more on each modules actually. So what I would recommend is people who want to know more in depth about the product, I would suggest them to reach us. So we will help them and give one-on-one session demos and based on the requirements. Okay, so here is where you could reach us. And also I thought I'll just quickly give you a glimpse on how our pricing works. Okay, so we start from the startups to the enterprise. We have actually different packs available. Where we start from $4 pack itself. Where we give you like five monitors at 5-minute polling interval. Okay, so that's our pricing structure. And so we have more than 5,000 plus customers across the globe, specific for Site 24/7 alone. And these are few of our customers who are currently using our product for their infrastructure monitoring, okay, and for application performance monitoring. And I would say, yes, we have like 5 minutes for some question and answers. So I could, let me actually quickly pull up the questions here. So there was a user who asked us about do you support PHP monitoring?
So PHP monitoring is something we have in our development. Our developers are working on it, and we will have it shortly in our product down the line.
Okay, good, Daniel. And there's another user who asked about so how different is from Google Analytics, the real user monitoring, right?
Yes, when it comes to real user monitoring, so this is a frequently asked question, where how do you compare yourself with Google Analytics? So Google Analytics, it's more specific on the user visits, on the numbers, where the number of users visit the web page, where Site 24/7, it's more on the performance and analytics, which helps you improve them. So we provide the performance data, which helps you optimize your application. And for your information, we are also working on a tight integration with the real user monitoring and APM Insight, which will give you more importance for monitoring them, because you can get the data, any web transaction which is slow, and you can drill down to the code level, which helps your developer to optimize it. So we have that in our development, which should be released shortly.
Okay, so and then probably we'll have the last question here. And yeah, if you guys have asked about can you share your presentation or recorded meeting? Okay, yes, we will be doing that. Okay, we will actually have a dedicated. We will be hosting a dedicated page for our webinars actually. So we are planning to have a series of webinars, not just specific to US time zone. We will also be covering at different regions at their specific time zones. Okay, so look forward to our webinars. And I would say thank you very much for joining our webinar and taking some time to patiently listen to what we say. So thank you very much, and we look forward to you in our upcoming webinar session. So thank you very much, guys. Have a good day. Bye-bye.
Thank you, and you all have a great day. Bye-bye.